Gabimaru gives no last words as he's about to behead by his executioner. However, to everyone in the courtyard's surprise, the sword snaps from the executioner, relentlessly striking Gabimaru's neck that remains undamaged. This leaves Gabimaru to wonder as to why he is unable to die despite having no reason in life to live on. On the other side of his cell, a female inspector interviews Gabimaru and Ibi, born and raised as a superhuman killer. Gabimaru tells the inspector that she was right to assume that the execution of Blade was not strong enough to cut through his tough flesh, and that he didn't even have to use Nijustu to avoid being beheaded. Interested in the fact that he can perform Nijustu, inspector requests for him to show her but is denied later. Gabimaru is sentenced to be burned at the stake along with being impaled with the spear beforehand. However, he's unharmed by both attempts, as his body snapped the spear and resisted the flames. He's then sent back to the cell where he is once again interviewed by the inspector. All been turned around after his burn closed, left him exposed. Gabimaru tells the inspector that he was not trying to resist and suggests bringing him a change of clothes if she was not going to continue making eye contact with him. If you were liking this video, then don't hesitate to like this video and to see more content like this. Subscribe to our channel. So let's continue the video. The inspector tells him that she will continue to perform her task even if he is nude, and asks that he continue explaining to her his background. She believes that his background is not that interesting. He complies with her request. Gabimaru tells the inspector about how his parents were killed by his village chief for an unknown reason when he was only an infant, but was unaffected by this as a shinobi. He explains that he does not possess any dreams since his only role is to kill whoever he's ordered to. As for how he was arrested, he explains that his village chief ordered his fellow shinobi to betray him on a mission. After wanting to desert the village, the inspector then asks as to why he wanted to leave the WA cure the next day. Gabimaru is sentenced to be torn apart from bull's tubing, ropes tied to his feet. However, Gabimaru survives this as well. After the bulls become overwhelmed by the weight of his legs, from him subconsciously clenching his feet, the magistrate becomes furious with this turn of events and furiously requests to bring more bulls to make another attempt at executing. Gabimaru, the inspector, comes up to Gabimaru to tell him that she found it strange that despite him accepting death, she has been noticing hints of resistance from him. She then asked him to answer her question from yesterday as to what his reason were for wanting to leave UA Cure. Gabimaru tells the inspector that he was the strongest shinobi of Ware, and because of this, he gained recognition from the Iwaki chief to be suitable to marry his daughter. Gabimaru describes the girl as an unfit person to be around due her acts of normalcy dull in his senses as a shinobi, and went to his leader to fix the problem. The UR chief complies with Gabimaru's request, but tells him that he must complete one final mission for him, despite knowing that he was being set up to be betrayed and captured at the time. Gabimaru explains that he had no choice but to be arrested, since escape would mean a walkie tracking him down wherever he went. At night, the inspector walks along the streets with one of the men from the execution grounds, who becomes concerned if she should involve herself with Gabimaru. Given his reputation as Gabimaru the Hollow, a cold-blooded shinobi who killed over 20 men during his arrest. He also adds in the rumor about the shinobi of a Waga cure having drunk the Elixir of Life, the medicine of immortality from Shino. Those shoes warn how dangerous Gabimaru is. The inspector questions why the emotionless man would fight back hard enough to kill those men. While in his self, Gabimaru thinks back to the inspector's past observation of him showing signs of resistance and believes that she is right after remembering how he strengthened his neck to survive his beheading execution. However, he becomes confused as to why he's subconsciously preventing himself from dying, despite not having no reason to live in, then decides that he will allow himself to die in his next execution. However, the next day, Gabimaru survives the scorching flames of his boiling execution and walks confused as to why he's still resisting. After closing her journal, the inspector tells the magistrate that she's ready for her next task while being taken to his next death sentence by the magistrate and his men. Gabimaru complains how tiring their futile attempts are, but hears from the magistrate that he's certain that the next death sentence will surely kill him. Upon entering the room, Gabimaru sees the female inspector sing at the center. The magistrate reveals to Gabimaru that the female inspector is named Yamada Asaemon Sagiri, who hails from the Yamada clan Ronin clan of highly skilled sword testers and executioners. After becoming shocked by the revelation that she's in a seaman sent by the Shogun Gaba, Maro senses that he's in danger of being beheaded and causes his restraints to break from his nervous reaction. This then prompts the magistrate to order Sagia to quickly execute him, which she complies to do by instantly getting behind Gabimaru. Gabimaru moves out of the way on time from her sword being brought down and only receives a minor cut on his neck, but is asked by Sagiri as to why he moved out of the way since he would have died like he wanted. Gabimaru then reacts to dodging Sagiri's next attack, which makes him question if he actually does not want to die. Having heard his history and carefully analyze him, Sagiri tells Gabimaru that he has been lying to himself about wanting to die because his attachment to life is his wife, who he actually loves. After becoming shocked by this revelation that causes him to look back on the fond memories he had with his wife, Gabimaru reacts with anger by quickly grabbing a sword from one of the men and clashing swords with Sagiri. Gabimaru denies her allegations and proclaims himself to be hollow. In a past memory, Gabimaru hears from his wife that he's non-empty person, but sadly refuses to believe so since he's only accustomed to ugly things. After coming in to hug him, Gabimaru's wife assures him that he's a kind person, since he wasn't concerned with the scar on her face. She also tells Gabimaru that even though the people of Iwagakure are not allowed to live ordinary lives, and that her father tried to destroy this dream by marking her face, she reassures him that people's hearts don't die so easily, and comes in to kiss him on the lips after she still sees him feeling down after causing him to become flustered. From this, she happily tells him that this is proof that he is not hollow as he continues to clash swords with Sagiri, and refusal to her earlier statement. Gabimaru recalls asking the UR chief for permission to quit his life of bludge so that he may live peacefully with his wife, and this act leading him to be arrested. After telling Gabimaru that it is possible for him to gain a normal life, Sagiri pulls out an official pardon that dismisses his past crimes in addition to getting the Chauvin's protection, which would help free him of the magistrate's office in UAA care. However, she explains to him that he can only receive on the Chauvin's condition that he traveled to the underworld, as in the legendary place known as Shinsagan, where has been recently discovered to exist beyond the Ryokyu kingdom. Begi must acquire the Elixir of Life for the Shogun, which was a task that many expedition teams have failed to do after. The only thing that returned from the island was a boat with a corpse sprouting flowers and compete with other death row convicts who also have their eyes set on the pardon. Having recognized his skill and fierce desire to live, Sagiri declares him to be a suitable candidate for the task, and informs him that his wife has closed herself off from everybody as she faithfully awaits his return, much to Gabimaru's assurance. Sagiri then asks Gabimaru if he's willing to accept this offer. Hearing Miss the Magistrate refuses to allow Gabimaru to be released, despite Sagiri stating that it was a command from the Shogun, and has his men point their weapons towards them if they try to resist. After shedding and tearing, thinking back to his wife's past statement on how people's hearts don't die so easily, Gabimaru reminds Sagiri of the time she wanted to see Nijustu and honors her request by using Boshi scorch the men with the flames emitting from his body while holding her blade up close to the magistrates. Next, Sagiri remarks to Gabimaru that his Nijustu was impressive to witness. Gabimaru tells Gabimaru that he accepts the mission to find the Elixir of Life and asks what the next step for him will be after being told that he will have to accompany her to Ito. Gabimaru complains about not going straight to the island, but changes his mood after Sagiri almost calls off the offer, telling her that he will face whatever comes his way in order to see his wife again.